I
Streaming. Going to
Do you want to lead?
whatever. We'll see. Any day now. If it's
Is it working okay?
working. Okay, good. I guess we're working. I guess
Yeah,
we're
looks like it to me.
okay, fine. Whatever. I guess we're doing the stupid thing. Off Discord. Anyway, if it's running, if it crashes, I can't check it now. I'm just gonna go into another room. Okay. Uh, Welcome everyone to a Toku Portal podcast. It's me, Zero, here with.
Gokai Platinum. I guess this is the Zero and Platinum Power Hour because it's just us.
Yeah, pretty much. Luckily, not much happens in this episode, so that's good. Plus, we're all behind and busy. We don't have time. Okay, anyway, so this episode. Basically, we find out the third main character's backstory, which is Calibur's his dad. Woohoo. Buster used to be his dad's friend, except he beat him. Okay. Um, what else? We meet the the repair or tech person for the sanctuary or sort of logos, whatever. And then what else happened? So
I mean, do you
by
think
the
we should
end,
share some thoughts about
yeah,
any of these
I'm just
events?
doing I'm just doing a rundown. What the hell happened? I thought.
Okay, okay,
Um,
go
and
ahead.
then at the end, you figure out that like Blades kind of has a thing with one of the other generals who shows up this episode, who created basically like the piranha monster. Um, and the monster of the week is piranha themed. Basically, can split into a lot, attack people, doesn't die when you kill him. Seems to be a theme of this damn show. So I guess they're doing a thing where you have to kill the original or like the Sentai thing, or if you gotta kill a thing twice. I don't know. Anyway, it's a whole thing. Um, yeah. So like, not okay. That's not true. Stuff happens, but it's a lot of exposition. And like, if you've seen it, you know what it is. It's not really much I can talk about all that stuff, but like, we can do our thoughts about the episode. I don't really have that much.
I mean, like, I think that this was a really neat episode visually. And I mean, I actually really like Espada. I think that having a character, actually two characters with Buster who are connected to the villain, it it does make you wonder what exactly happened. And one thing I'm especially wondering is what's the deal with how like Saber and Calibur's books had that like energy going between them when they clashed swords for a bit? Like that was weird. That's gonna mean something.
I mean, it probably does. Like, doesn't Caliber say something like, "Oh, he's the key" or whatever? So I guess
Oh,
that'll lead to something.
yeah, I missed something with that. So I don't know. Like it's not too much evidence to go off of yet, but I think that it might be possible actually that Caliber kind of defected from the basically Knights of the Round Table situation we've got here at some point. For maybe he actually has a good reason because he doesn't seem like a mindless destroyer like everybody else with him in that Logan Paul looking motherfucker who transforms at the end.
Um, I mean, maybe then again they did get like a pretty decent actor. Like it's Kaito. Okay, this is annoying because there's Kaito, he's from Gaim, but this is Kaido from Flies.
Oh
Um,
shit! I knew he was familiar. Oh
yeah,
goddamn,
he's
that's awesome.
also yeah, it's him, and then he was well, he reappeared as the same character in freaking Rider 4 movie, which is the addendum to Drive's movie, Rider Tyson GP, like
I mean, I always
other
like
beast.
seeing him come back. You know, he's an awesome
Well,
actor.
yeah, he was also in Ghost. He was Musashi.
Oh
When
fuck!
they
I hadn't seen Fives back when I was watching Ghost, so I didn't even pick up on that. Although I rewatched a little bit of Ghost recently. So that inevitable Ghost podcast we keep talking about.
I haven't seen Ghost since like it first aired, but like maybe. Um, but yeah, like again, so like he looks very much like he did when he was in Musashi. So I'm like, that's cool. I mean, they got a good actor, so at least like hopefully he'll have a decent part, you know. Then again, like Fai's actors have been showing back up recently, so who knows?
I'm
It'd
even
be cool.
knowing that it's actually him from Fives. I'm actually even more confident that he's going to be carrying a lot of narrative weight, and then maybe he won't actually be so bad of a guy. Like he's going to be a bad guy, but it's like Wreck-It Ralph. He's not really a bad guy.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. When you, well, I mean, he'll be here at least for an arc. That's
Yeah, there's okay, something I got to comment on with the Espada though. This is probably my fault for getting too shit brained on Twitter theories. But I could have sworn Espada was going to be a female writer. And, like, man, this show sure is a sausage fest. Then again, its name
yeah.
is Saber. What do you expect? I mean, it's all about sword fights.
Shit. Well, the thing is, like, there's 10. Well, at least 10 writers confirmed.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that counts the villains or not, but who knows? But the point is, like, there's room. Plus, this is the guy who wrote Coast, so like, I mean, you can see that he's trying to put May into becoming a bigger character already because like of what happened with Akari, where Akari's actress like asked to play like a more important role. It's just like, why are you just giving me like so many like bit parts, right? Like,
From
give me better,
from
and
that
then like Akari ends up becoming like the most important character.
yeah, I was just
Um,
talking about that yesterday with Resident Homo when we were watching Ghost, and Akari is actually just such a strong character narratively, in my opinion. Hell, she even carries her weight in fights. Like she's pretty cool, actually.
right, like by the end, she's basically like female Sento, or I guess more like Sento is like male Akari because he came after.
Yeah.
Um,
But like, I mean, yeah, there's totally room, and I'm liking this editor girl because she's just got this insane Akiko energy to me, and I'm an
well,
Akiko apologist, so
yeah,
yeah.
that's what I meant. Like May, like clearly the writer wants May to do more stuff going forward, and that's why she's like she really wants to be part of sort of logos, and like even not just even not as a writer, she's wants to help out and stuff because it's interesting to her. So she's like actively trying to participate, which is interesting. And yeah, I do like her energy. Like it's not as batshit crazy as Akiko,
I actually
with
think that
like her
she's a
crazy.
little crazier sometimes, like more energetic. But yeah, I guess she doesn't go around smacking people, so
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I don't feel like her mood swings are as crazy. Like it makes sense, right? Whereas
Yeah,
like Akiko is almost written to be like, oh, I'm here and doing this because of the script, right? Whereas like May, you could actually see a human being acting like this.
although I do think that this is actually, and I'm gonna have to go back and say what my opinions on the show has been since I'm just showing up for the first time now. But basically, like I've been feeling like this has been a very cartoony writer show, and I kind of love it for
Oh
that
yeah.
because the special effects are actually just extremely good for the most part. Like I'm actually all for pretty much everything they're doing except for those outlines, not because they're there, but because they're a little too soft looking and they're kind of this inner outline where to me it literally looks like when I go into Photoshop and go like inner line glow done. It's just too rounded. Like I don't like it, but everything else is
What
fine.
what are you talking about?
Like when they're
Like
in the like when they're in the like Wonder Book world, like they kind of have
oh
that
okay.
glow going on, but the glow effect most of the time they get kind of lazy with it and it literally looks like the most generic like glow effect in Photoshop or any video editing program. It's just find edges, glow, done.
Yeah, it's true. It's a little basic, but okay, fuck it. I'm not gonna get into Amazons here. Anyway, like Toei tends to be lazy on certain effects.
It's just that one thing. Everything else, like even just going to the piranha in this episode, I like how they it's a very simple effect where they have all those little 2D piranhas. It works because it's a storybook and it allows you to have an extra thing going on with special effects that isn't too expensive.
Right. I also okay. Speaking of storybooks, which kind of ties back into like I was gonna say Santo, but not Santo. Toma and Espada doing the whole like shit like Tom Sawyer Huckleberry Finn thing. I love how like it starts and it's like oh they already know the tropes. It's like oh it's gonna go into a sequence and then and Toma's like yeah okay, but what's really going on with you though, right?
Yeah, that
And
was
like Espada's
it was kind of charming because it was a very trope savvy moment. They're having so much fun with the storybook idea and but the tropes of Common Writer too.
yeah that was actually pretty nice. That they're like getting genre savvy so early. Another nice moment was when like Espada's like moping on the freaking roof.
I'm
Um,
oh my god.
a-
I see. I
and
love
then
Caliber so much, that, or not Caliber, Buster so much,
Buster.
and he just worked out so well for me in that scene. Like that was such a good moment with them.
Yeah, like he actually came off as like a dad, where it's like, okay, he can totally read the scene, and he's like, well, if I talk to this kid, he's not gonna listen, so I'm gonna have to lighten the mood somehow.
Yeah, I feel like he did like I feel like he let himself get sprayed in the face by the soda can that he tried to attack him
Oh
with
yeah.
on purpose because
Well,
he
yeah,
knew
that's what
he
I'm
was like doing
saying.
like a bit, you know.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like he came off as like a good version of the like dad story which they're trying to do, which I'm cool with. I mean, that
I
would I
mean
guess
like
explain. Go ahead.
no no, I was just agreeing. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say like maybe they're gonna have a thing where it's like Espada might get torn between like Buster way of doing thing and like, Caliber's way of doing things or something. Going forward, that like it depending on if like Caliber sticks around for like like 3 arcs or something.
Yeah. With I mean, so far Buster is just my favorite character though. Like I guess I like Espada visually and his powers like a little bit more because just the way that they do the his lightning fast attacks, it's so quick and elegant. And he does that one attack where he has like the afterimage strikes, and then the thunder comes down, like the big lightning strike from above, like that was not only elegant, but it was also kind of brutal. Like this huge strike just comes from above and just pretty much annihilates the piranha guy. And yeah, but then there's Buster, who's just okay. Like honestly, when it comes to any video game or really anything I'm playing, that's the type of character I play when I'm not playing a mage. I just play the character with the slow attack that will kill anyone that touches it.
Oh god, so you're just the great sword guy from Monster Hunter.
Absolutely. In fact, that's exactly what I play in Monster Hunter.
That's pretty funny. I mean, no, okay, we're not gonna get into game stuff, but that that's interesting. Usually I'm not a slow weapons guy, except in like Skyrim where I have like a fucking double-sided axe because I'm like, fuck this, and my motion sickness is gonna make me throw up. Fucking axe and go, right?
Fair enough.
So it's pretty much almost from necessity where it's like, fuck it, I don't give a shit. I don't have to pay attention because if I pay too much attention, I'm gonna throw up. Um, but yeah, so it's like axe hit everything in my way, get out of my. But
And
like
that's
usually I'm more of like a faster weapon guy.
yeah. I mean, that's so fitting for Buster's personality too, because he is completely unsubtle. And then we get this contrast in how both characters actually handle. I don't remember the guy who becomes Espada's name, but the way
Oh,
that
I
they
don't
both
remember
handle
either.
that character when he's going through his issues, Toma comes up and he's actually like, I don't actually need to make you talk about your shit. I'm just gonna be friendly and comforting. Meanwhile, like Buster's going in and he has to spray an entire soda can into his face just to like break the ice. There's no subtlety there.
Yeah, I mean that's nice too because characterization and stuff. Um, which
I
honestly
think you
like
might I think you might have be on to something when you're saying there's gonna actually be a point where Espada has to deal with the fact that there's multiple characters influencing him in different ways, and because he's estranged from his father, he does kind of need somebody else to influence him.
yeah, agreed. And okay, I mean like this episode was okay, but that's because it's a lot of plot dumps, so like not much interesting happened, but like for what was shown, it's decent setup. Honestly, I'm more interested about like what the fuck is gonna happen next episode because I'm like Blades has been like okay, like that's not true. Like everybody in this show is super nice, like insanely nice,
I
except for
know it's
Buster in the
refreshing.
except for Buster in the beginning, but like even he's like super chill now, so that's fine.
These
And
guys are
like
gonna become my comfort characters so easily because they're all just so fucking pleasant.
yeah, kind of. Well, well maybe not like Kenzan or whoever. Yeah, like the repair guy because well his thing is like he doesn't like people, which is fine.
Yeah, we're
Um,
still waiting on him to kind of develop. He's just been showing up here and there. But I'm really interested in him because his actor made a strong impression on me during the conferences. He's just like, yeah, I'm a Common Rider fan, and now I'm in the show. This is fucking awesome.
that's cool. Uh,
Yeah.
that reminds me of the story of Forza's parents. It's like, oh, he tells his parents like, oh shit, I get to be Kamen Rider, and like his parents are Rider fans, well, like old school Rider fans, so they just do like Rider One style henshin pose. I was like,
Oh
oh,
wow,
that's cute. Um,
that's awesome.
yeah, and like he knew nothing about Rider at that point, so I'm like, oh, that's cool. That they're so into it. But anyway, yeah, like I mean, it's fine. Like, not everybody has to be nice. This is like one of those complaints that like a lot of people who watch Tokyo. It's like they complain about Green. It's like, oh, what's his problem, man? Why has he got like? Why can't he just be with everybody else? Like, why has he got to be like this edge lord? I'm like, do you people understand what an introvert is? Because I'm pretty sure most of you fucking assholes don't understand what an introvert. Whereas, I mean, this case, I guess his name is Kenzan or whatever. The tech or technician person. Well, I don't know anybody's names. I don't have them listed right now, but he doesn't seem like an introvert. It's more like he's just socially awkward or like he doesn't give a shit about pleasantries at all, which is fine. You know, like he's not a bad guy. It's just like, hey, I'm not really a people person. Let me do my thing, right? Which I'm fine with.
Well, that's pretty much the type of, well, like when I go into business class, right, and they try to tell me what kind of person on a team I am. That's the kind of person they tell me I am. I'm just this cynical programmer person, which is really weird because like all my personality tests otherwise say I'm an extrovert, and I mean I am, but I'm not asocial. I'm just antisocial. Like I'm just really rough with people.
Yeah, I think that's more of like a individualist versus collectivist thing going on there, where it's like you're more like stop putting me in a fucking box, you assholes. Um,
Okay, Kenzon, by the
but
way, he's gonna be a different guy. He's gonna be the guy that shows up next episode, who looks like
oh
a
shit, my bad.
fucking Mountain Dew can.
Hey, I actually like. He looks interesting. Let's go with that. I mean, they
I
all look interesting, honestly.
I kind of am always an apologist for designs like most people think are terrible. So like I agree. Like nobody on Twitter likes Kenzon's look, but I'm like, oh man, this dude looks like
What?
he tastes like lime. I love it.
Shut, shut the fuck up.
He
Honestly, I'm
does.
like, what the hell is the hate? Like, it's not even that bad. Like, we've seen bad rider suits. Like, that's nothing. Right? It's not even the worst suit. Like, honestly, I hate Buster's suit more than anybody. And even then, that's not even a bad suit. It's just I don't like his helmet.
Until I saw
Uh,
Spada, Buster was my favorite suit because it's just clinical, uniform, and straightforward. And I just have a
like,
weird like love of that too because it really looks like something I would wear if I was trying to do like a tactical rider or something, which is a style I love.
I mean, I like his suit. I just don't like the eyes on his helmet. They don't look as cool as they could, but that's pretty much the only complaint. But like as
That's
for like
fair.
tactical riders, like I totally do love that look. Like that's the reason like if I'm like okay, build a rider suit, I'm like okay, just give the ride troopers from uh from Fives like better helmets and there you go. Right? Because those suits are so utilitarian. Like I
Right. That
fucking love their
utilitarian
design.
suit stuff, I love that. Five is so sleek.
Yeah.
Okay, so apparently I'm looking at this and there's no current announcements that Tetsuo is ever going to be a writer. He's the mechanic guy. And I think that's kind of surprising because I kind of thought he would be.
Yeah. Maybe in a movie or something. Or
Yeah.
unless they're gonna give a reason why he can't be. Possible.
When's Tassel going to be a writer? Like, honestly, non binary icon right there.
Uh, uh, I don't know, man. I'm not a. Okay, like the our like me and Vashi's like side theory is like Tassel's here because he's gonna end up being a villain or something. Uh, because otherwise, like I don't give a shit about this character and like why do they exist?
I like him for the memes, and
Uh,
I think his fit is on point. If we're gonna be honest,
yeah, like
I'm waiting for
I
him to
just
just
hate.
do something.
Honestly, I just hate the fucking green hair. It just throw. It's just like terrible on
I
top
thought
of
I hated
everything.
it
Like
in the first. I thought I hated it when I watched the first episode with you, and then I watched it I started watching more on my big screen without any compression, and then I'm like, actually, it's not that bad.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly, I just like the intros and the endings and Tassel are all just kind of not great, so I just skip all of that.
Ah,
Um,
you're missing some great memes.
yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're pretty much done this episode. It was okay. Your thoughts on this episode?
I, th-
And
I think it's weird how they had an action scene that was basically that one action scene they had in CG in episode 2, except it's just like a live action version of it. And with the CG, I've been like, okay, cool. They get to do stuff that's really hard to do in live action for them these days because of they don't have as many opportunities to do like motorcycle stuff, or and they probably are trying to not have as much like in-person filming due to COVID and stuff. And I actually think the CG looks pretty good when I actually watch it without too much compression. It's when I watch it with compression, or if I watch on like a tiny phone screen that looks like shit. It actually looks good and it's like proper resolution. But this was probably the
yeah,
best motorcycle sequence in the whole thing, and that was kind of my favorite part of like the whole episode. Besides Buster spraying soda all over himself.
yeah. I mean, the anyway, I was gonna say, it's interesting that like Blades is the not Blades. Saber is the only one with a unique motorcycle at this point. Uh,
I kind of expect that because it's a multi-rider series, and so like they don't usually have that many different motorcycles in these.
but that's not true. I mean, usually they kind of do, or they
Okay, like
never show.
I'm thinking about Gaim, right? And
Yeah,
I'm
but
thinking
Gaim
I
they
can
all
only
have
remember
one bike.
right,
See,
and
I'm
so I'm
okay
thinking
with
about that.
I'm okay with single bikes like Ryuki and Gaim, where it's like okay, it's just a transport thing. But I'm like, then you just give like okay, I wouldn't even mind if they're like okay, trike, bike, right? But the trikes are both the same. Like you could have changed something, bro, or at least you could have made Buster's one blue. I mean not Buster, Blades one blue
I don't know,
or
like I'm
something.
kind of fine with them sharing certain things and then just the main character having a special thing. They kind of actually did that in Ryuki because like the two who had survived forms, their advent beast actually became the motorcycles later, and they were the only two who had that.
Yeah, but that happens later. Like, okay, it's fine. I mean, I guess they do explain it because it's the sort of Logos's tech, so they're just using the same equipment. I
Yeah,
guess.
I mean budget too. Like it's like why do you gotta make like a whole other trike? You know?
Why do you have to make a whole another bike anyway? They should have all been the same fucking thing. Like, I
I
would
mean,
have been
because you
fine with it
can.
all being one. Anyway, I don't care. But yeah, like the only other thing I can think of is like, oh, it's cute that like May and Blades kind of had their like little adventure. Like it cuts back to them and like Blades suddenly doesn't have his shirt on. I was like, what the fuck even happened? Um, and then like, oh, the random general shows up, and then the like Blades ready to throw down. I'm like, all right, what is he your dad too, or brother or something? Because like, oh, if we're just gonna go with fucking Ghost, where it's like, oh, everything is family drama essentially, maybe.
This might just be a whole family drama series, or just all be people with like dramatic backstories, at least.
I mean, I'm fine with that, but like the whole like everybody's connected and it's all a family thing always kind of sucks because it just shrinks the world.
Fair enough. I mean, it could be that kind of show. It might be fine. It might suck, but one more thing I want to say, right, is I know you said like, yeah, like obviously there's got to be some antisocial characters sometimes because that's just realistic, but uh, I I will say it's just really nice that Blades hasn't came out and just been the jerk ass blue like everyone's expecting him to be, and because that's just been a trope for so long. Like it's just nice for it to be different. I don't even care if there's like a jerk ass blue every now and then, but just I'm just glad it's different. It surprised me, And I like his smile. You know, I'm glad I have it in my life.
Anyway, so we're done talking about this episode. Any other thoughts about? Well, you were no, he didn't come on the first one, did you? We watched the first one together. Um,
Yeah.
so thoughts on the first four? If like, you don't have to go in like super detailed if you don't want to. Just your general thoughts.
I mean, more or less, I tried to catch like what my opinions about the show has been in general since, like just casually throughout it. But with every episode, I guess with the first two, I was just like, okay, I just want to see what the powers are. I want to see my double rider henshin. I got that. What I kind of thought they were gonna do is actually just keep adding a ridiculous amount of books to the sequence, but they didn't do that. They don't have like they don't double henshin and then have like 6 books in the background. But I guess maybe they would need to make a new model, so maybe they'll do that later for group henshins when something important happens. So I'm still holding out. Like honestly, for some reason, I just really want to see like a whole like round table, like surrounded by different books and writers. That's what I want to get out of these. If they're gonna do them in uh, stock footage, which I don't inherently mind because I think that the sequences look cool and that's kind of all that matters. But yeah, I mean, if even if you do henshins with or without that, I still think it looks fine either way. Just make it look cool. And then Buster, he got a couple episodes to himself there, and he's an exciting character. Like I said, I like him a lot, and he goes in, he fucks shit up. He's completely unsubtle about it, and he's very easy to understand, and thus he's very emotional, and I can just jive with that. Like, not because I need things simple, but because I like to see somebody who's very emotional, and I think that that's exactly how Buster is, and everything about him exemplifies that. And there's somebody I think about, right? A friend and colleague of mine, Marvelous in Red, who's also a father, um, and I kind of see him as being a little bit common writer like, since he just kind of breathes tokusatsu. And so I'm thinking like this is how a common writer protects their kid. And I'm thinking about Ashton, Marvelous in Red, when I'm seeing this character and I'm thinking he's gonna like this guy. And protecting the children, right? Isn't that what it's all about? It's just a really charming idea, and we haven't actually seen it in such a direct way to have a parent be protecting their own child as a writer. Before, it's just been like you protect children in general, but we're getting to the heart of it and having somebody who has their own child to take care of. That's so cool, and that's basically it. That's what I think about the episodes.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I pretty much got nothing else to say. Definitely nothing to top that. But yeah, thanks everyone for joining us. It's me, Zero. This was an okay episode. Hopefully the next decent looks. Um, yeah, next Tuesday for Sentai, next Wednesday for Rider. Um, yeah, see you guys next week.